piece of legislation. Thank you.
I call the Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr Speaker, the member opposite had the opportunity to make a reasoned defence of their plans to embark on future asset sales, but chose not to, and I think has demeaned his party and himself in advancing arguments as spurious as those that he has just done. To launch into an ad hominem attack on my colleague on the basis of his seat, rather than addressing the issues at hand, is not worthy of the highest standards of this House. To say that the bill was unworkable in one sentence and then to provide absolutely not one shred of evidence or argument to say why, when actually the bill is very simple, it is very clear, it only takes the government at their word by entrenching future assets into a 75% threshold, thereby requiring a broad range of the representative of New Zealanders to assent before what is the common heritage of all New Zealanders is sold. Now, if we had that kind of requirement, the truth is we would have a better informed debate. We would move more carefully through the issues which this government has run headlong into. Things as important and as basic as the treaty rights debate around water issues. One would have thought they would have asked themselves before they committed to this sale. The truth is they couldn't paddle a canoe down the Waikato River to sail themselves. They couldn't organise a party in a brewery, this lot. And it's shameful that they're not prepared, and we won't go to any ad hominem arguments which so obviously tempt the member sitting just behind me and to my right. Look, the argument was raised that the previous Labor government sold some assets. You know, that is factually correct. And the problem with that for the government today is that we learnt from that experience. And the difference between a fool and a wise man is only a fool repeats the same mistakes twice. We've learnt from it. We know that the privatisation of telecom, which both parties worked on, was done with an insufficient regulatory framework. We fixed it. And we learnt from that. But actually, the telecom sale did include an entrenched Kiwi share obligation, now known as the Telecom Share Obligation, which includes restrictions on foreign ownership and provides protections to New Zealand consumers. So it wasn't done with no forethought. It's just that those protections weren't strong enough, and in my view, that privatisation should not have proceeded at all on that basis. And, you know, the member then said, well, there was nothing about gang members. There was nothing about DPB mums. What he was really saying was it's a bill without dog whistles. Well, New Zealanders are sick to the back teeth of being dog whistled at while they're on the dole queue. They want to feed their families. They want decent jobs. They want a home to live in. And the well-heeled members opposite, who are troughing in their own tax cuts, might laugh, but New Zealanders are very concerned about those issues. New Zealanders don't want dog whistles, they want solutions. And a solution is not selling off the family silver to make up the deficits of today, because the government is devoid of real ideas to grow the pie, to build high-value manufacturing, to build a high-performance economy. Those so-called stewards of the public interest have come up short. They've come up short. A few chips short of the Happy Meal, as the kids would say. A few ideas short of a strategy. Privatisation of existing assets to simply transfer the value to a foreign owner is not a strategy. And if it is such a good strategy, we say to the government, have the courage of your convictions, give us a 75% threshold. Sorry, Trevor, a minute.
I call the Honourable Minister John Banks.